My sister and Mom didn't invite me to Dad's birthday dinner at his favorite restaurant. Mom said it was last minute, just close family. Then my sister posted pics, tagging my ex who showed up. The next morning, I forwarded the email to Dad. Okay, so picture this. I was scrolling through Instagram, just minding my own business, when I saw it. My fingers literally started trembling, because there they all were. My mom, my sister Scarlett, my dad, and Solomon, my ex, the one who ghosted me after borrowing thousands, all sitting around a beautifully set table at Vincenzo's. They were raising their glasses in a toast, celebrating my father's 60th birthday, a birthday dinner I hadn't even known was happening. Can you believe it? I, Nicole, the only one in my entire family not invited to my own dad's milestone birthday. My mom's text popped up suspiciously fast after she saw I'd viewed her story. Just a casual last-minute thing, sweetie. You know how these impromptu gatherings go. Impromptu? Seriously? I zoomed in on the background of the photo, right past their beaming faces. There it was, a 2015 Brunello de Montalcino. The exact wine I'd helped Dad pick out 3 weeks ago when he called, asking for recommendations for a special occasion. Suddenly, that text felt less casual and a lot more calculated. Everything okay? My best friend Cora's voice cut through the buzzing in my ears. We were supposed to be having our weekly coffee catch-up, but my latte sat untouched. I just managed to push out the words. They invited Solomon. I turned my phone to show her the photo, that perfect tableau of my family and my lying, manipulative ex Solomon, but not me. Cora's eyes widened, taking it all in. That manipulative piece of, isn't that the restaurant your dad specifically asked about last month? Yep. I let out a hollow, bitter laugh. The one where I spent an hour researching their wine list for him. Guess now I know why. My phone buzzed again. Scarlett, posting more photos. There she was, perfect as always, arm wrapped around Solomon's shoulders, like he hadn't ghosted me with a massive debt. Like he hadn't spent our entire relationship convincing me I was lucky he even looked my way. Have you called your dad? Cora asked, her voice gentle, but I knew what she was thinking. What's the point? I sighed, feeling the familiar resignation settle in. He'll just say Mom and Scarlett handled the guest list. He always stays out of it. I took a shaky breath. You know what the worst part is? This isn't even surprising. It's just confirmation. Confirmation of what? That I've always been the outsider. The one they include when it's convenient and exclude when it's not. I scrolled to another photo. Mom, beaming at Solomon as he apparently told some hilarious story. I remember trying to tell them about the money he owed me. Mom said I was being dramatic. Scarlett said I probably misunderstood the arrangement. Cora reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Nicole, this is beyond messed up. You need to say something. Then my phone buzzed again. A text from Dad. Great wine recommendation, sweetheart. Really made the evening special. Something inside me snapped. The careful wall I'd built around years of dismissal and gaslighting just crumbled. I thought about the folder in my email. The one labeled Solomon and Legal. The one containing every manipulative message, every broken promise, every admission of debt. The one I kept telling myself I was just being cautious about. You know what? I said, straightening up, a new resolve hardening my voice. I think Dad's about to learn exactly how special his evening was. Cora leaned forward, concern mixing with curiosity. What are you thinking? Solomon's not at that dinner just to reminisce, I said, pieces clicking into place. He's there to pitch Dad on investing in something. Has to be, Cora confirmed. It's his pattern, charm his way into money, then disappear. How do you know? I pulled up my email on my phone, finding the folder I hadn't opened in months. Because he told me himself right here. I'll pay you back as soon as I secure my next investment. That was 8 months ago. Wanna bet that's exactly what he's after now? Oh my God, Cora whispered, reading over my shoulder. You kept everything. Every email, every text, every bank transfer. I smiled, but there was no warmth in it. They thought they could just exclude me like always. That I'd sit quietly with the hurt like always. I looked up at Cora, but they forgot something important. What's that? I'm not that person anymore. I picked up my phone, opening a new email. And I have receipts. Cora watched me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. Do it. But Nicole, be ready. This isn't just going to hurt them. It's going to change everything. I thought about all the family dinners I'd sat through, swallowing my words. All the time Scarlett had talked over me, Mom had dismissed me, Dad had looked away. I thought about Solomon's smug face in those photos, knowing exactly what he was doing. Good, I said and started typing. Back home, I sat cross-legged on my couch, laptop open, bathed in the ghostly blue light of the screen. It was past midnight, but sleep wasn't an option. Not when I finally had purpose burning through my veins. Okay, Solomon, I muttered, opening the folder I'd labeled my personal Pandora's box. Let's see what kind of story these tell. My phone lit up. Cora checking in. You sure about this? Never been more sure, I texted back. Already found some gems. The first email was from exactly 9 months ago. Solomon's desperate plea after I'd threatened legal action. Baby, please. You know I'm good for it. This new venture is going to be huge. I just need time to secure the right investors. Don't do anything rash. I screen grabbed it, creating a new document. The next email was even better. The $50K was always meant to be an investment, not a loan. You're making this weird by demanding repayment terms. My bitter laugh echoed in my empty apartment. Funny how it wasn't weird when he was begging for the money, swearing he'd pay me back with interest. Another message popped up. Scarlett, this time. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won out. You're being really childish by ignoring Mom's texts. It was just dinner. Stop making everything about you. I added her message to my growing file. Context matters, after all. My phone rang, startling me. Dad's name lit up the screen. Hey, sweetheart, he said when I answered. His voice had that slight slur that came with expensive wine. Just wanted to thank you again for the wine recommendation. Really impressed everyone. Everyone, including Solomon. The words slipped out before I could stop them. A long pause. You saw the photos. Hard to miss them when they're all over Instagram. Nicole, he sighed. You know how your mother gets about these things. Solomon just happened to be in town and... Save it, Dad. I pulled up another email from Solomon dated just 2 weeks ago. Quick question. Did he happen to mention a new tech venture? Something about revolutionary AI integration. The silence on the other end was deafening. How did you? Because I have the same pitch in my inbox from 8 months ago, right after he ghosted me with $50K of my money. I'm sure he's changed. I kept my voice steady, but the sarcasm dripped. I'm sure this time it's totally legitimate. Nicole, this is business. It's not personal. Really? Because excluding your daughter from your birthday dinner while inviting her fraudulent ex feels pretty personal. Another pause. What do you mean, fraudulent? I smiled despite myself. Check your email in the morning, Dad. I think you'll find some interesting reading material. What are you? Good night, Dad. Happy birthday. I hung up and returned to my laptop. Opening Solomon's investor deck, forwarded to me by a friend in tech months ago, I found exactly what I expected. There, under risk assessment, was a single line that made my blood boil. Previous venture faced opposition from disgruntled former partner, personal relationship, no legal merit. That's what I was to him. A footnote, a risk to be dismissed. My phone buzzed again. A text from Solomon himself. Heard you talk to Greg. Whatever you're thinking of doing, don't. We can work something out. I added his message to the file, then opened my email. The subject line was simple. What you need to know before tomorrow's investment meeting. Into the body I wrote, Dad, I've attached documentation of Solomon's pattern of financial manipulation, including bank statements, communication records, and evidence of similar behavior with other investors. I'm not sending this out of spite, but because I can't watch him do to you what he did to me. Love, Nicole. My cursor hovered over the send button. This would change everything. Not just with Solomon, but with my entire family. Mom would be furious. Scarlett would never forgive me for ruining her perfect dinner's aftermath. Another Instagram notification popped up. Scarlett had posted yet another photo from dinner, captioned, "Nothing better than family time with the people who really matter." I clicked send. Immediately, my phone lit up with a call from Solomon. I declined it, watching as 3 more calls came in rapid succession. Then a text, "You have no idea what you've just done." Actually, I whispered to my empty apartment, I know exactly what I've done. I closed my laptop, suddenly exhausted, but lighter somehow. Tomorrow would bring chaos, but for tonight, I'd done what I should have done months ago. I'd chosen truth over peace, action over acceptance. I'd chosen myself. Sleep didn't come easy. I tossed and turned, checking my phone every few minutes. By 6 a.m., I gave up and made coffee, watching the sunrise paint my kitchen walls pink while notifications started rolling in. First, a missed call from Mom at 5:47 a.m. No voicemail. Then Scarlett, answer your phone right now. 3 more calls from Solomon. All declined. At 7:13, the email I'd been waiting for arrived from Dad. We'll talk. Thank you. 2 words that made my hand shake so hard I nearly dropped my phone. Not the explosion I'd expected. Not the dismissal I'd feared. Just we'll talk. Thank you. Cora called while I was still staring at those words. You doing okay? She asked. Your sister's been posting some pretty intense stuff. I pulled up Instagram. Scarlett had shared a series of cryptic stories. Some people will do anything for attention, followed by family means loyalty. And finally, the truth always comes out. She's not wrong about that last one, I said, surprising myself with a laugh. Nicole, Cora hesitated. Solomon's been calling me too, trying to get me to tell him where you live. My blood ran cold. What? Don't worry. I told him to get lost, but maybe stay at my place for a few days. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with an incoming call from Dad. I have to take this, I told Cora. I'll call you back. I answered, heart pounding. Dad! The meeting's in an hour, he said without preamble. His voice was tight, controlled. I've already forwarded everything to Virgil. Virgil, Dad's friend and business advisor for 20 years. My stomach clenched. What did he say? He said I should thank you. Dad's voice cracked slightly. And that I should have asked more questions when you first mentioned problems with Solomon. Dad, I know. Let me finish. Your mother, she's been in contact with Solomon for months. Did you know that? The betrayal hit like a physical blow. No. She thought she was helping. Said you were just bitter about the breakup. That Solomon had changed. He took a shaky breath. I should have seen it. Should have asked why they were so insistent about that dinner. A text from Solomon flashed across my screen. Last chance to fix this. Dad, whatever he's offering you, it's not real. None of it is. I know that now. Papers rustled in the background. The investment meeting is just a formality. I'm not giving him a cent. But Nicole, this is going to get messy. Your mother's already talking about family loyalty, about how you've betrayed everyone's trust. I thought about all the times I'd stayed quiet for the sake of family loyalty, all the times I'd swallowed my truth to keep the peace. Then let it get messy, I said. I'm done pretending. Good. The pride in his voice was something I hadn't heard in years. That's my girl. After we hung up, I finally listened to the voicemail Solomon had left at 3 a.m. You think you're so clever, don't you? Sending all that private correspondence, breaking confidence. I've got lawyers, too, sweetheart, and they're going to tear you apart. You want to play dirty? Let's play. I forwarded the voicemail to Dad and Virgil, then called Cora back. I'm coming to get you, she said immediately. Pack a bag. You're staying with me. I can't hide from this. It's not hiding. It's being smart. Solomon's unhinged. Your mom's on the warpath, and your sister's rallying her entire Instagram following against you. Take a breath. Let the dust settle. My phone pinged with a message from Virgil. Smart girl. Keep documenting everything. We've got your back. Another Instagram notification. Mom had finally broken her social media silence with a photo from last night's dinner, carefully cropped to show just her and Dad. Family is everything. Blood is thicker than water. Some truths shouldn't be told. I clicked through to the comments. Scarlett had already responded. Some people mistake revenge for righteousness. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, tempted to respond. Instead, I took a screenshot and added it to my growing file of documentation. Okay, I told Cora. I'll pack a bag, but I'm not running away. I'm just regrouping. That's my girl. I'll be there in 20. And Nicole, yeah, I'm proud of you. This took guts. After hanging up, I looked around my apartment at the life I'd built despite Solomon's betrayal, despite my family's dismissal. On my bookshelf sat a photo from years ago, me, Mom, Dad, and Scarlett at the beach, all smiling. It felt like looking at strangers. I packed the photo, too, a reminder of what I was fighting for. Not the fantasy of what we were, but the truth of what we've become. My phone buzzed one final time. Dad again. Meeting starting. Stand strong. I was pacing Cora's living room when Dad's call finally came. 3 hours had passed since the investment meeting was supposed to start. It's done, he said, sounding exhausted. And it was ugly. What happened? Solomon lost it. Completely lost it. Started yelling about betrayal. About how you'd violated his privacy. Then Virgil pulled up the SEC investigation. The what? I sank onto Cora's couch. Turns out we weren't the only ones looking into his business practices. When Virgil mentioned it, Solomon just snapped, started threatening everyone. Security had to escort him out. My hands were shaking. Dad, I'm so sorry. Don't be. But Nicole, he took a deep breath. Your mother and sister were waiting in the lobby. They'd come to support Solomon. The betrayal felt like ice in my veins. Of course they did. It got worse. Your mother, she admitted she's been helping Solomon set this up for months. Said she was trying to fix things between you two. That's why they arranged the dinner. Fix things. I laughed bitterly. By ambushing you with an investment pitch from my fraudulent ex. I confronted them both. It didn't go well. My phone buzzed with an incoming text. Scarlett, I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything. Mom's crying. Dad's not speaking to any of us. And Solomon's life is ruined. All because you couldn't handle being left out one time. Nicole! Dad's voice brought me back. Are you there? Yeah, I'm here. Just got a lovely message from Scarlett. She's angry. They both are. Your mother's saying I betrayed her by believing you over Solomon. Another text came through, from Mom this time. This was not your place. Some things should stay in the family. Funny how I'm only family when it's convenient, I said, forwarding the messages to Virgil as he'd instructed. I need some time, Dad said quietly. To think, to process. I've moved into the lake house for a while. Dad, no. Listen, I'm proud of you for speaking up, but I need to figure out how I missed so much. How I let them. He trailed off. Just stay safe, okay? Solomon was saying some things. My phone lit up with a call from an unknown number. Speaking of which, I think his lawyers are calling now. Don't answer. Let them leave a message. And Nicole, I love you. Those 3 words, so rare from my father, made my eyes sting. After we hung up, I checked my voicemail. A clipped professional voice. Miss Mason, this is regarding a cease and desist order and pending lawsuit for defamation and intentional interference with business relationships. Please have your lawyer contact our office immediately. Cora emerged from her kitchen with 2 glasses of wine. That bad? Solomon's suing me. Mom and Scarlett showed up to support him against Dad. And apparently, there's an SEC investigation I knew nothing about. Cora pulled out her laptop. Remember my friend who works in tech investment? She just sent me this. She turned the screen to show me a financial news website. The headline made my heart stop. Tech startup under investigation for fraudulent investment practices. Multiple victims coming forward. Holy sh*T, I whispered. Your email to your dad. It wasn't just about saving him. You might have helped expose something much bigger. My phone kept buzzing with notifications. Scarlett was on a posting spree. Stories, posts, comments, all painting me as the villain, Solomon as the victim, herself as the loyal sister standing by truth and family. Mom had joined in, too. A mother's heart breaks when children choose vengeance over love. They're really going all in on this narrative, aren't they? Cora said, reading over my shoulder. They always do. It's easier than facing the truth. A new email popped up from Virgil. Stay strong. Keep everything they send you. Your father's lawyer will be in touch tomorrow. Don't engage with anyone until then. I closed my social media apps and turned off notifications. The weight of everything, the lawsuit, the family chaos, the SEC investigation, pressed down on me. Hey, Cora said softly, handing me the wine. You did the right thing. Then why does it feel so awful? Because doing the right thing sometimes means breaking what was wrong, and that always hurts. I took a long sip of wine, thinking about Solomon's threats, Mom's cold dismissal, Scarlett's rage, about Dad alone at the lake house, finally seeing the truth. You know what the worst part is? I said. Part of me still wishes they just invited me to dinner. Cora squeezed my hand. I know, but they didn't. And now everyone has to live with the consequences. 3 days at Cora's turned into a week. I worked remotely, designed logos for clients, and watched as Scarlett systematically rewrote our family history on social media. Just look at this, I said, showing Cora my phone over breakfast. She's posted a throwback photo from 2 years ago, me, her and Solomon at Christmas. Her caption, some people can't handle seeing others happy. Jealousy destroys families. The comments are brutal, Cora noted, scrolling through the responses. How many followers does she have now? Up 10,000 since this started. She's turning it into content. I laughed hollowly. Mom's helping, of course. Every passive-aggressive quote about forgiveness gets shared to her story. My phone rang. Dad's lawyer, Margaret. Good news, she said when I answered. Solomon's lawsuit is basically dead in the water. Everything you shared was documented communication, and his threats since then have only strengthened our position. What about the SEC thing? That's bigger than we initially thought. Multiple investors have come forward. Your father's evidence was just the tip of the iceberg. A notification popped up. Scarlett had posted again, the truth about my sister's vendetta against Solomon. Full story in my next post. They're really committed to this narrative, I told Margaret. I'm just jealous and vindictive. Let them talk. Every post, every comment, it's all documentation. Speaking of which, your father wanted me to tell you he's filing for divorce. The words hit like a physical blow. What? The dinner was apparently the last straw. Finding out your mother orchestrated it all hid Solomon's true intentions. He's done. After hanging up, I sat in stunned silence until Cora brought me coffee. You okay? My parents are getting divorced because of me. No, Cora said firmly. Because your mom chose Solomon over her own family, because she's been lying and manipulating everyone. My phone buzzed. Scarlett's promised exposé had dropped. A carefully curated carousel of photos and screenshots painting me as unstable, jealous, vindictive. The final slide was a screenshot of a text I'd supposedly sent Solomon. I'll destroy you if it's the last thing I do. That's fake, I said, staring at the doctored message. She's actually creating fake evidence. Screenshot it, Cora advised. Send it to Margaret. Before I could, another notification appeared. A message from someone I hadn't heard from in months. Lisa, Solomon's ex-business partner. I saw what's happening, she wrote. I have proof he did the same thing to me. Would you like it? My hand shook as I replied, yes. Minutes later, my inbox filled with documents, bank statements, contracts, emails, the same pattern, the same promises, the same threats. When she tried to expose him, I forwarded everything to Margaret, then opened. Instagram. Scarlett had posted again. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. My sister showed us her true colors. The irony was almost funny. My phone rang. Dad, you saw? I asked. I saw. Your mother's defending her, saying Scarlett's just protecting family. He sounded tired. I'm selling the house. Dad, I can't stay there. Not after everything. The lake house feels more like home now anyway. He paused. How are you holding up? Oh, you know, just watching my sister turn me into a social media villain while Mom cheers her on. Living the dream. Nicole, his voice softened. Come visit me this weekend. Just us. No drama, no phones. We can fish off the dock like when you were little. The invitation, so simple, so genuine, made my throat tight. I'd like that. After we hung up, I checked my email one last time. A message from Virgil. SEC wants to talk to you formally. Your evidence combined with Lisa's. This is becoming a major case. Cora read over my shoulder. Still think you should have just stayed quiet? I thought about Mom and Scarlett, so desperate to maintain their perfect narrative that they destroy anyone who threatened it. About Solomon, whose house of cards was finally falling. About Dad, finding peace in his solitude. You know what's funny? I said. They thought excluding me from dinner was the punishment, but it was the wake-up call I needed. My phone lit up with another notification. Someone had tagged me in a comment on Scarlett's post. Where's your sister's side of the story? Why are we only hearing your version? I watched as more comments appeared, questioning the narrative, asking for proof. The tide was turning, slowly but surely. Truth, I said, putting my phone down. Doesn't need an Instagram filter. Cora smiled. Now that should be your next post. No, I said, thinking of the lake house of fishing with Dad. I think I'm done performing for their audience. The lake house looked exactly as I remembered. Weathered blue shutters, a creaky screen door, and the old wooden dock stretching into calm waters. Dad was waiting on the porch with 2 cups of coffee when I pulled up. You remember the fishing gear? He asked as I climbed the steps. In the trunk, along with those disgusting cheese crackers you love. He smiled, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Up close, I could see how tired he looked, how much older than just a few weeks ago. We need to talk, he said, handing me a coffee. About everything I missed. We settled into the ancient Adirondack chairs, facing the lake. The morning sun painted everything gold, almost like nothing had changed. When did it start? He asked. With Solomon, I mean. The money, or the manipulation? Both. I took a sip of coffee. I told him everything. How Solomon had slowly isolated me from friends. How he convinced me his financial troubles were temporary. How the loan had started as $5,000 and somehow became $50,000. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I tried. Dad, remember that dinner last Christmas when I mentioned Solomon owing me money? Mom said I was being dramatic. Scarlett said I was just bitter about the breakup. You. I hesitated. You changed the subject. He finished quietly, like I always did. I let them steamroll you. 4 years. It was easier than dealing with your mother's intensity, with Scarlett's drama. He set his coffee down. I failed you, Dad. No, let me finish. When I saw those emails you sent, saw the evidence of what he'd done, I realized I hadn't just failed to protect you. I'd helped them hurt you. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Probably another notification from Scarlett's ongoing social media campaign. I ignored it. You know what's weird? I said, if they just invited me to that dinner, none of this would have happened. Solomon would have gotten his investment. Mom would have gotten her perfect family facade, and I would have kept quiet like always. And I would have lost everything, Dad added. The investment, yes, but more than that, my chance to finally see the truth. My phone buzzed again. This time, Dad pulled his out too. Ah, he said. Your mother's lawyers finally filed the divorce response. How bad? She wants the house, half my business interests. He laughed without humor. She's claiming emotional distress from how I turned our daughter against the family. That's rich, coming from someone who invited my fraudulent ex to your birthday dinner. Speaking of Solomon, Dad pulled up an email on his phone. Virgil sent this morning. The SEC investigation is going public next week. Multiple charges of investment fraud, wire fraud, securities violations. They're calling it a Ponzi scheme. Have you told Mom? She's not speaking to me. But Scarlett, he showed me her latest Instagram story. A photo of her hugging Solomon, caption reading, standing by good people in bad times. The truth will prevail. The truth already is prevailing, I said. Just not their version of it. Dad stood up suddenly. Let's go fishing. All this, he waved at our phones. It can wait. I want to hear about your life. The real stuff, not the drama. Your work, your dreams, everything I missed while I was playing peacekeeper. We spent the next few hours on the dock, fishing poles in hand, talking about everything and nothing. Dad told me about his plans to retire completely, to make the lake house his permanent home. I told him about my graphic design business, about the children's book I'd been secretly illustrating. You know what? He remembered, as the sun climbed higher. You used to sit out here for hours drawing the birds. Your mother said you were wasting time, that you should focus on practical things like Scarlett did. I should have defended you then. You're defending me now. Too little, too late. No, I said, thinking of all the alternate versions of his story, the one where I stayed quiet, the one where I gave in to their narrative, the one where nothing ever changed. I think it's right on time. My phone buzzed again. A message from Margaret. Solomon's lawyers want to discuss a settlement. They know what's coming with the SEC. How do you want to proceed? I showed Dad the message. Your call, he said. But whatever you decide, I'm with you this time all the way. I looked out at the lake, at the future stretching out before us. Messy and real and true. Tell them no deal, I said. Some things are worth more than money. Dad squeezed my shoulder. That's my girl. The SEC announcement hit like a tsunami. I watched from Cora's couch as Solomon's face appeared on every local news channel. The words, multi-million-dollar investment fraud, scrolled beneath his perfectly composed expression. Turn it up, Cora said, bringing in fresh coffee. Serial entrepreneur Solomon Davis faces multiple federal charges in what investigators are calling an elaborate Ponzi scheme targeting private investors, the anchor announced. Sources say the investigation was accelerated by evidence provided by former associates. My phone exploded with notifications. Scarlett had gone silent on Instagram for the first time in weeks. Mom, however, had not. Family stands together in crisis, her post read. The media doesn't know the whole story. But I do, I muttered, opening my email to find a message from Lisa. They're interviewing me tomorrow. You. Thursday. I typed back. How are you holding up? Better than Solomon. Did you see he's been dropped by his lawyers? Before I could respond, Dad called. You watching the news? He asked. Yeah. How's the fallout? Your mother's hysterical. Keep saying we've ruined her standing in the community. Scarlett. He paused. Scarlett finally knows the truth. What do you mean? Virgil showed her the complete file. Everything, including emails between Solomon and your mother from months ago, planning how to get me to invest. Turns out your mother reconnected with him right after your breakup. She's been grooming the situation for a while. The betrayal felt fresh, all over again. Why? Money. Status. She thought having Solomon in the family, successful, connected Solomon, would give her the social standing she's always wanted. She never believed your warnings, because she didn't want to. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Solomon, I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything I built. I forwarded it to Margaret without responding. Nicole! Dad's voice brought me back. There's something else. Scarlett's here. What? At the lake house. She wants to talk to you. My heart pounded. Put her on. A moment of rustling. Then my sister's voice, smaller than I'd ever heard it. Hey! She took a shaky breath. I was wrong about everything. Mom showed me selected parts of messages, told me Solomon was the victim. I believed her because it was easier than admitting what we did to you. Scarlett! No. Let me finish. I was horrible. The dinner, the social media campaign, all of it. I chose the pretty lie over my own sister. And now, she choked up. Now Mom's still defending him, even with all the evidence. She's lost in her own reality and I finally see it. I close my eyes, feeling tears threaten. It's not just about the dinner. I know. It's years of us dismissing you, excluding you, making you feel crazy for telling the truth. I'm so sorry, Nicole. I know it's not enough, but I'm sorry. Before I could respond, my phone lit up with breaking news. Solomon Davis arrested on federal charges. Multiple victims come forward. Are you seeing this? Scarlett asked. Yeah. Mom's still at his lawyer's office, trying to help his defense. She laughed bitterly. She really can't let go of her perfect narrative. Some people can't handle reality when it threatens their carefully constructed world, I said. I couldn't either, but I'm trying now. She paused. Can we talk in person? Maybe at that coffee shop you like. I thought about all the times I'd extended olive branches, all the times I'd been hurt, but I also thought about Dad finally standing up for me, about truth finally breaking through. Okay, I said. Tomorrow morning. Thank you, she whispered. After we hung up, Cora looked at me questioningly. You sure about this? No, I admitted. But I'm not doing it for her, or for Mom, or even for family harmony. I'm doing it because I want to know who my sister is when she's not playing a role in Mom's perfect family fantasy. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from Margaret. Solomon's taking a plea deal. Your testimony won't be needed. It's over. But it wasn't over. Not really. It was just beginning. The messy, honest work of rebuilding relationships on truth instead of pretense. Of learning who we all were without the masks we'd worn for so long. Hey, Cora said softly. Whatever happens tomorrow, I'm proud of you. I looked at the news coverage, at Solomon's mugshot, at Mom's desperate social media posts, at Scarlett's silence, at the whole tangled web of lies finally exposed to sunlight. You know what's funny? I said. They thought uninviting me to dinner would put me in my place. Instead, it gave me the courage to finally find my voice. Cora raised her coffee cup. To uninvited daughters who refused to stay quiet. I clinked my cup against hers. To truth, and all its messy glory. The morning sun streamed through the windows of Maple Coffee House as I waited for Scarlett. My phone buzzed with news alerts. Solomon Davis pleads guilty in tech investment scheme, claims multiple victims. The bell above the door chimed. Scarlett walked in without her usual perfect makeup and Instagram-ready outfit. She looked younger somehow, more like the sister I remembered from childhood. I ordered your usual, I said as she sat down. Oat milk latte, extra shot. You remembered? She wrapped her hands around the mug. I just came from Mom's. How is she? Still in denial. She's convinced Solomon was framed, that you manipulated everyone. Scarlett stared into her coffee. She wanted me to help her start a fundraiser for his legal fees, and I said no. For the first time in my life, I told her no. She looked up at me. She didn't take it well. I can imagine. The thing is, Nicole, Scarlett's voice cracked. Watching her spiral, seeing how she twists reality to fit her narrative, it made me realize I was becoming just like her. The social media campaigns, the fake screenshots, the constant performance of perfection. It's exhausting, isn't it? God, yes. She pulled out her phone, showing me her Instagram profile. I deleted everything. All the posts about you, about Solomon, about our perfect family. It felt freeing. My own phone lit up with a text from Dad. Moving trucks at the house today. Your mother's leaving. I showed it to Scarlett. Good, she said firmly. Maybe without her influence. We can, she hesitated. We can try to be real sisters again. If you want. The barista brought our pastries, chocolate croissants, another childhood favorite we used to share. It won't be easy, I said. There's a lot of hurt. I know, but I'm willing to do the work. Real work, not just pretty Instagram apologies. My phone buzzed again. Virgil, this time. Settlement papers ready for review. Solomon's assets frozen. You'll get your money back. The funny thing is, I said, putting my phone down, the money doesn't even matter anymore. What matters is that the truth finally came out. Truth, Scarlett repeated thoughtfully. Remember when we were kids, and we'd hide under the dock at the lake house? Just us telling secrets? Before Mom decided secrets were better kept buried. Before I learned to perform instead of live. Scarlett broke the croissant in half, offering me a piece like we used to. Dad invited me to stay at the lake house for a while. Said he's turning the old boathouse into an art studio for his retirement. For you. He said it's time you had space to create without judgment. Something warm bloomed in my chest. Really? He's trying. We both are. Scarlett pulled an envelope from her bag, which is why I brought this. Inside was a stack of papers, printouts of every false social media post she'd made about me. Every manipulated screenshot, every lie. I'm going to post a public retraction, she said. The whole truth about Solomon, about Mom, about how he treated you. No filters, no performance. You don't have to. Yes, I do. Not for likes or followers, or Mom's approval. For us. My phone lit up one last time. A message from Mom. I hope you're satisfied with the family you've destroyed. Scarlett saw it too. She'll never change, will she? Probably not, but we can. Scarlett raised her coffee cup. To second chances. Later that evening, as I packed boxes for my temporary move to the lake house, Cora helped me sort through old photos. Look at this, she said, holding up a picture from the dock. 2 little girls with gap-toothed smiles, holding up a fish nearly as big as they were. Before the performance, I said. Before the perfect family facade. And now, I showed her Scarlett's latest post. A simple, unfiltered photo of our coffee cups and broken croissant. Starting over, starting real. The truth about my sister. Think it'll last? Cora asked. I thought about Dad's art studio, about Scarlett's deleted posts, about Mom's crumbling fantasy world, about truth finally breaking free. I think, I said, packing the old dock photo carefully, we're finally ready to write our own story. No filters needed. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky in honest colors. Not perfect, but beautiful in their chaos. Just like truth, just like family, just like healing. I picked up my phone and texted Scarlett. Dad's making his famous terrible chili at the lake house tomorrow. Want to help me tell him how awful it is? Her response came quickly. Only if we can hide under the dock after. I have more truths to tell. This time, when I smiled, it reached all the way to my heart. Have you ever had a moment where you realize that sometimes the biggest betrayals can lead to the most unexpected forms of freedom? Or had a family dynamic where speaking your truth meant tearing everything apart, but was still worth it? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you faced anything similar, let me know in the comments below.